We got a quote from Tony here, and it's going to surprise you, and some of you're going to be like, that's Tony. Tony's gonna retire? Nah, mofos. F you. I'm going to be done when I want to be done. 5 fights and a title, baby. Obviously, I don't know how Tony really talks. I can't do impressions, but he talks about his losing skid in the UFC's lightweight division. He said, nah, I am not going to retire. 5 more fights and I'll be back to the UFC title. My man Tony thinks he's going to become UFC world champ again. I'll just say, no, it's not going to happen. But I like the enthusiasm, Tony. I like the enthusiasm. He had good wins over Donald Cerrone, Kevin Lee, Anthony Pettis, Rafael dos Anjos. That's a former champ right there. Those are good wins. Very legit wins. Anthony Pettis, former champ. Really good win streak. You took more damage than someone that survived a plane crash would take. In the Justin Gaethje fight, you got absolutely dominated in wrestling, in grappling, by Beneil Dariush and Charles Oliveira. You got front kicked into oblivion. We're out cold, asleep, for like a minute. That's pretty bad. And then you got almost put to sleep, by Nate Diaz in round number 4 in one of the fights that you looked, honestly, slower than I would look on a weight cut. Like me cutting 30 pounds, I'd probably look a little bit faster than you did in the Nate Diaz fight at UFC 279. I'm just being honest at the moment. I'm so depleted after a weight cut, I still somehow look faster than Ferguson did against Nate Diaz. And no, I'm not saying Tony can't win this weekend. Or Tony can come back and win a few fights against some unranked guys like maybe Jim Miller, Matt Brown, or some of those veterans outside the top 15. I'm not saying any of that. But for him to go on a 5-fight win streak and challenge for the title, it's a little much. It's a little much, Tony. I mean, I was with you when you were saying, I'm not going to retire, F you. I'm going to be done when I want to be done. I respect that. I'm not telling you should retire, you shouldn't. There's still some veteran fights you can make that are good. The Nate Diaz fight was an example of one that made sense for you in your current time of your career. That's what I think you should do. But where you lost me was saying 5 fights and title, baby. 5 fights and Tony. You've taken way too much damage recently. You got out-grappled by Beneil Dariush and Charles Oliveira, and I know these are super legit guys. Everyone on the list is in the top 5 of the UFC lightweight division. Literally every single one of them. The number 1 contender, the number 3 contender, the number 4 contender, and the number 5 contender. These are legit guys. Very, very legit guys in the lightweight division, but I don't see you going out there and beating guys, even like Jalen Turner, who just got a loss on Dan Hooker this weekend. I don't even think you'd beat a guy like Jalen Turner at this point. So again, my suggestion, you don't have to retire. I'm not gonna be one of those guys saying, nah, Tony's off the slump, losing a top 5 guys in the lightweight division. That's like Derek Brunson's last few losses. I'm not saying Brunson should retire right now. He's lost to number 1, just like Ferguson, and number 4, just like Ferguson. He's losing to super legit guys. I don't think he should retire. I'd say Jim Miller at UFC 300 would be very, very fun. I would love that. And I say just keep booking veteran fights. No need to make another run for the title. How old is Ferguson right now? He's pretty old. I think he's like 39 or 38, maybe 37. But I mean, come on. He's not going to become champion again. Heck, Paddy Pimblett might be able to beat you. And that's an insult. That's an insult there, Tony. I'm sorry. I had to insult you with that one. This dude right here, the Scotia don't get knocked out. This guy would go out there and get a split decision win on you, even if you won every single one of those rounds. I'm sorry, Tony. Take the veteran fights. Bobby Green actually makes sense. I don't think you should be a minus 400 underdog or anything like that. That's stupid. But I think these are the fights you need to take. Bobby Green, he's another guy around your age. Jim Miller is a guy around your age. Take these veterans, take these legends, and just keep fighting them. No need to fight freaking up-and-coming Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, up-and-coming lightweights. No need, Tony, no need. You're not going back to the title. I know you're saying you want 5 more fights. Back to the title, Tony. Tony, slow your roll. Veteran fights is where it's at, Tony. Still make some money. You could still get a main card fight with you and Jim Miller at UFC 300 on a pay-per-view. You could still get these fights. I mean, you're coming off a main event of a pay-per-view. Dude, you could still get some good fights going for you. Just don't be trying to fight these up-and-comers, man. All I gotta say.